Hello, welcome to today's video. If you're joining me for the first time, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. For my old subscribers, thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited to have you all in today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be reading my statement of purpose that got me my Canadian study visa in one attempt. I'm also going to be sharing tips on how to write a perfect statement of purpose for your study visa application. There's something else I'm also going to share. I'm going to share on how to use the tool ChatGPT. I'm sure some of you have heard about that, so I'm going to be sharing on how you can use that tool to make your SOP better, to make your SOP look good, to make your SOP look so well detailed and very okay. A statement of purpose gives an idea to the visa officer of who you are. It contains the who, the what, the why, who you are, why you're applying for this visa, like several informations about you. Like I mentioned in my other video, there is no physical interview for a Canadian visa application. So your SOP gives you the opportunity to tell the visa officer more about yourself. Yeah, there are cases where some people applied without an SOP and they got approval. But I would advise you always have an SOP. And whenever I mention SOP in this video, just know it stands for statement of purpose. So I'm going to be reading my statement of purpose that got me my approval. And at the same time, I'll also be sharing tips on how to write a perfect statement of purpose for your study visa application. The first step for your SOP is to write your introduction. So I'm going to be reading mine out loud, though I'll be leaving out some personal information, but at least I'm going to be reading a bulk of my SOP for you. So you can start with this. There's a screen in front of me, so I'm going to be reading my SOP from it. So my SOP started this way. My name is Echo Francis with passport number dash. I don't want to call out my passport number. I am applying for a study permit for a Master's of Business Administration graduate program at the University Canada West for the fall of September 2023, which has a duration of 2 years. This is just a brief introduction of myself. After giving an introduction of yourself, you head on to your background. So this background contains information, like maybe you're sharing your life story, down to the point of why you're going for the course you applied for, like your work experience, different kinds of experience. So let me read what I shared for my background. In the university, I was 1 out of 5 females in my department, electrical and electronics engineering, out of 100 plus males. I saw no female figure in my environment to motivate me on my STEM path. Most ladies did not continue on that path after graduation. I decided to grow myself to be that lady so I can inspire others. My quest to be the change I wanted to spark my involvement in community development. I began volunteering at I don't want to mention the group yet. I observed that there was little to no female attendance at tech events. I was moved to action. I began inviting females to come for events. This increased female participation by 100%. As a result of my volunteering activities, I was made the co-organizer and a ambassador. So for privacy, I don't want to mention the names of all these organizations. Yeah. Seeing little to no female participation in tech, I began hosting tech events, providing mentorship for tech enthusiasts, building communities where the girl child can thrive, and being involved in the advocacy and mobilization for girl child engagement in technological careers. Through organized outreaches and workshops and trainings on software and hardware development in university campuses, primary and secondary schools, and orphanages, I have recruited over 100 ladies into tech who are successfully building their careers in different stacks. In the same way I overcame my fears, females in my community have overcome theirs to succeed in an increasingly changing world. They have been influenced into starting a career in tech. I have also successfully trained over 500 children in programming and robotics. My focus is on synthesizing my knowledge in a way digestible to the kids and encouraging critical thinking and problem-solving skills in them. This dramatically influences their attitude and performance in other classes. During my National Youth Service Corps, NYC, a mandatory service year for Nigerian graduates, I served in northern Nigeria, Gombe, where over 700,000 children are out of school. Seeing the low adoption of technology in their curriculum, I trained 8 staff and 130 government science school Gombe students on computer appreciation and digital literacy. They acquired critical thinking and problem-solving skills through the programming curriculum. I also designed and installed a solar system for the NYSC local government office building, which gives free and clean energy. It was strange for the community to see a female doing things that were termed for males. This debunks the stereotypes of girl-child involvement in STEM. I did these projects because I believe adequate employment of technology and the presence of conditions that support it will yield continuous progress from all ends in society. For these projects, I was awarded the State Honors Award for Outstanding Performance by the NYSC State Governing Board and the Governor of Gombe State. I have also participated in various panel sessions and contributed to conversations about gender equality in tech. Attached are pictures of some of my community work carried out. So this is my own background story. I know yours is going to be different. Yeah, you mustn't have same story as mine, but these visa officers want to know about you. Anytime you are writing a statement of purpose, be it for visa application or for any other application, like people want to get to know you. You need to talk about yourself, talk about your story. As you can see, my own story is kind of captivating. Like, it gave my background story about the kind of life I've been living all this while. Like, after a while, at least when the visa officer is reviewing my application, I won't be a stranger to the person. Yes. So these visa officers receive a lot of applications. So your story should be unique and captivating. Like, it should keep them wanting to keep reading and wanting to know about you. Even for admission application too, like they want to know about you. So just write all you can write and talk about the impact you've had in your story. Even if you've not done community work like me, they're different. I'm sure you've done other things, maybe at work, the impact of what you've done at work. Just give a story about yourself. Take some time, sit down, think about your life story. Like, just imagine the visa officer meeting you face to face and asking you, tell me about yourself. And you begin to narrate. And remember, please, your story cannot be same as mine. Yes, because we are all different, so you mustn't have the same story as mine. Your story mustn't be channeled in the same direction as mine. Your story may be in the business part, your story may be in the health part. So just find a way to write something about yourself and why you're doing what you are doing, or why you've been doing what you've been doing. Remember, I said SOP has to do with the who, what, and why. So your background is should be linked to why you've been doing what you are doing and why you are going to do what you are going to do in Canada. Your story can be very simple. Yes, it mustn't be as long as my own story. Yes, but remember I mentioned a tool at the beginning of this video that you can use to make your SOP better. I'll be showing you the tool later on, so stay tuned, keep watching my video, and I'm going to talk about the tool and show you how to use it. Yeah. So after your background story, you can now head on to why you picked the course you are going for. Yes. This part is very important, especially for those of you that are switching careers. For example, me, I have a tech background, that's in electrical and electronics engineering, and I'm going into Master of Business Administration. So I had to like give reasons why I'm going into that. So let me read what's in my SOP. In my experience working in technology, I have been privileged to perform various roles such as field engineer and human resource manager. These roles have enabled me to get involved in the life cycle of projects undertaken by the company, from areas such as initial bids and tender of projects to completion and handover to clients. I have learned that managing human capital is essential by applying processes, methods, knowledge, skills, and experience. I have realized that it is necessary to get the understanding that encompasses these set attributes, which bring you closer to professionalism. It is for this reason that I resolved to get an MBA qualification. It will also help me climb up the ladder career-wise, which is every dream of an individual with a purpose or vision. To achieve my optimum goal in management, I must be tutored, and the University Canada West is highly recommended as a place to gain a widely accepted qualification. I believe the graduate program will train me to manage strategically with good planning, be an effective leader in managing people and resources, do good risk management, and foster innovation and creativity. The features of the MBA program fully cover my expectations in the current business and management trends. I plan to use my time in the program to learn the organizational and strategic skills for successful decision making that will drive change in businesses and instill technological adoption in companies. I will contribute to collaborative team dynamics where everyone's strengths and potential are maximized. I will also learn from and support my classmates in discussions and organizing social activities. I cannot wait to learn about all I will discover in such a diverse community. As you can see, I mentioned, like, I kind of linked my experience with the course I'm going for. Like, I linked technology with why I'm also going for an MBA. So for your story, you'll find a way to link your experience in the past with the course you are going for. You can give reasons why you are going for that course. Like, I listed so much about why I'm going for that course, how it's going to be of an advantage to me, and I also mentioned how I'm going to be of impact to my class. Yes, and also my plans when I'm done with the course. Like I mentioned, like if you go over what I wrote, you notice that I mentioned my plans how I'm going to be of impact after the MBA, how I'm going to also be of impact to my classmates, because these people want to know how you plan on impacting people. Yes, so you can write something like that. The next thing to write about is your purpose of choosing to study in Canada. Please, so don't go and write you actually want to leave your country because it's a hard place and you don't want to ever go back. Please don't write, don't go and pack the problems of Nigeria only and then give the impression, don't go okay, let me not limit it to Nigeria. Don't go and pack the problems of your country and then give the impression that you don't plan to go back at all. No. In all you're going to write, please don't give the impression that you're not going to leave Canada. In this part, you write about why you're picking Canada. You can write on how Canada is a multicultural country, how there are diverse people here, how Canada is one of the best countries to study in. Several reasons. I'm not going to read my own so that all of you will not have the same reason for picking Canada. So what you should do is that go to Google. You search on advantages of schooling in Canada. You see several results on why you should pick Canada, why you should school in Canada. So when you get information about Canada from this website, you can cite them, like put the statements from this website in quotes then from so and so website. For example, for me, this is what I wrote from this particular website. I wrote, it is 4 of the top 100 best student cities in the world according to QS World University Rankings, something that attracts international students. That's for example. So I'm not going to read other things I wrote about Canada. So go and browse. It's good to know about the place you're trying to enter. So I'm not going to share on that. Yes, browsing helps you get more information. I also cited other websites, so you can cite several information about them. Then the next thing, and then you can also write about how the country is safe, reasons why it's safe. Yes, so do your assignments, go and research about Canada. Yes, and it's going to give you reasons to fall in love with the country. Yes, because you're getting to see the advantages of actually entering the country, and it's going to actually cover up some of the negative news people say about the country. The next thing to write on is your family and home ties. For me, I just mentioned the people I have in Nigeria and how I'll want to go back to them when I'm done schooling, how they are there to me, just something simple. I didn't write much. That's just majorly what I wrote about concerning my family and home ties. But you can mention the position and your family, because the other family's application I did mentioned position in the family, how many you are in your family. If you are married, talk about when you got married, how many kids you have, mention their names. And then if you are going with them, this is a place where you can mention how you want to travel with your family if your visa application is approved, how they are there to you, mention why, reasons why they have to come with you, like how you want to be there to see them achieve their milestones, how you want to take care of them closely, how you want to watch them, how you have not been apart, you have never been apart. Talk about your husband, to have people since you got married, you've not been apart. You can also mention the achievements people have had as a family. So you can add all of this, but it's not compulsory. You can add this if you want to. For me, in my SOP, I didn't mention my husband will be traveling with me. I only spoke about myself because my statement of purpose is my own. He only wrote about why he wants to travel with me in his own SOP for his application. But you can write all of this for yourself. There's nothing bad in actually going for your best. Yeah. You can also mention the properties you guys have. You can also mention roles you have, maybe in church, different organizations. So this is where you just give your ties, your home ties, which can be your family or the roles you have in any organization at work. Yes. Then the next thing to talk about is your financial support, which is proof of funds. Yes. So this is where you list all you have for proof of funds, whether landed properties or money in your account. This is where you list all of them and also explain any lump sum you have in your account. So at least the visa officer have an idea that there is something before he goes directly to your bank statement and sees that there is lump sum and sees no explanation. So I'll advise you explain it here, and also before you add your lump sum, before you add your bank statement, also explain, give a short notes to explain the lump sum in your account book. This is where you mention it in your SOP. You can mention the amount you set aside for school, how much you have, who will be supporting you, why the person is okay. You also mention why the person is supporting you, but just talk about how you'll be funding your school and your living expenses. And then if you have a sponsor that is not your spouse, you can mention, because some people don't get to move, their sponsors don't get to move their tuition deposit or living expenses into their account until they get their visas approved. So maybe you can mention that once after mentioning the amount set aside by your sponsor for your school, you can mention that once your visa is approved, the money will be moved into your account. No Nigerian account though, just mention account in general, because the account can be an account that you create when you come into Canada. And then finally, mention what you must have gained after your studies and how you will go back to your home country to impact the country. For instance, now you can say you are going back to your country once you are done with your studies, and mention what you must have gained from your studies. You are going back home to contribute to the social and economic growth of your country. For instance, if it's Nigeria, you're going to contribute to the social and economic growth of Nigeria. But just put your country. I know some of you are saying never, you will never go back to your country. Please don't do mistake and put it at this point though, that once you are done with school, you hope to continue living in Canada. No. Remember, this visa application is for study. Yes. So everything you write or anything you're writing about, you just know it's for study. Once you are done with study, you can now apply for postgraduate work permit. And if you are writing SOP at that point, it should be totally different. This is not live, because you are going to impact your country. You can impact your country from Canada. Okay, and then here you can also mention your family members again whom you would like to go back to when you are done with your studies. So at this point, you just use like all these points like to remind them that this is what you plan to do, and then you go back to just conclude your SOP. SOP, the way you write SOP is going to be addressed to the Canada High Commission of your country. For instance, if it's Nigeria, you can the way you write a normal formal letter, the upper right is your own address, your name and your address, and then after that, by the left, you write you address it to the visa officer, Deputy High Commission of Canada. I think the address is number 4. I don't know how to pronounce your right name. Annie for Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. Once you are done putting the address of the Canada High Commission of your country, put the title Statement of Purpose for Canada Study Visa Application. Once you are done with your conclusion, add yours faithfully. The normal way to conclude a formal letter, and then leave some space and then put your name and then your email. I prefer putting email, not phone number. Please don't forget to write your unique story. Don't go and find people's stories to copy. Don't copy people's story. I'm not copying my SOP. Yes, don't copy it. My story is unique. Your own story too is unique. Anyhow your story is, so whether your story is an experience, something very simple, they want to know. These people want to know, like, it mustn't be complex. Maybe you've been living a very simple life and not involved in doing activities. No problem, write about it. If you've just been selling in the buying and selling in the market, write about it. That is also a story. Yes, you mustn't be doing so much. Write your unique story, please. So, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm going to be sharing on the tool ChatGPT. I'm going to share my screen at this point. So I'm going to show you how to use it. And I'm just going to introduce you to the tool and how you can make your SOP better. So I'll be sharing my screen now. All you have to do is Google ChatGPT. Enter. The first option that comes in, you can click on it. You can see log in and sign up. I already have an account with them, so I'm just going to click on login. If you don't have an account, you can click on sign up, and then you follow the instructions on how to finish signing up. Chat GPT is actually an AI tool that you can use to do different things. I don't want to start introducing you to the complete world of Chat GPT, but for today, I'm going to be sharing on how you can use this to make your statement of purpose better. Not just statement of purpose, but whatever application you are doing, how to make sentences better, how to write your stories. Also, this tool can write a complete story for you, I can write a script for you, can write a book for you, but I don't want to go into that. So I'm just going to be showing you full statement of purpose. For you to start, any instruction given to the tool, you can click on new start. After clicking on it, you can see send message. Let's write a story, and then I'll ask ChatGPT to rephrase the story for me. Okay, so I'm going to start with rephrase, because I want you to rephrase the story is in brackets. Remember, this is an AI tool. Yeah, instructing it, so you have to actually let it know what you want it to do. Let's write a simple story for someone that wants to go for Master of Business Administration. Let's write, let's say, when I was 10 years old, my mother opened a provision store. I was involved in the daily buying and selling of goods. This introduced me to the world of business. During my undergraduate studies, I had to sell items like cake, biscuits, pure water to support my education. After I was done with my studies, I started working with a marketing company. This with the remember we're trying to write a simple story, so I'm just trying to create a story from my head now. With the experience gained, it has influenced my resolve to further my studies in Master of Business Administration. Administration. Business Administration. Yeah. Okay. Let's say, for instance, this particular person have a background in the agriculture. Though, okay, let me use a background in something that is not business related at all. Let me see. Though I have, let me say, microbiology. Though I have a background in microbiology, and then you close the quote. Then this is where you send the message once you are done typing. So let's send the message. It's already trying to type. It's already typing. Something as simple as when I was 10 years old, my mother opened a provisions shop. Can you compare this and actually what this tool brought out? This looks better. So, okay, let me read what the tool actually rephrased the statements I just wrote. At the age of 10, my mother established a provision store where I actively participated in the daily procurement and sale of goods. This early involvement exposed me to the realm of business. Throughout my undergraduate studies, I engaged in selling various items such as cake, biscuits, and purified water to financially support my education. As you can see, even changed our pure water to purified water. Following the completion of my degree, I embarked on a career with a marketing company, which provided me with valuable experience. This experience has strongly influenced my determination to pursue a Master of Business Administration, despite having a background in microbiology. Like, say I made a statement very, very, very good. So when you're writing your SOP or anything, you can ask ChatGPT to rephrase a statement for you. Or let's say, for example, write a background story for me with these details in quotes. My name is let's use John what's the name? John West. Okay, let's use John West. My name is John West. Um I grew up in the slums of Lagos. This greatly influenced my background, and I have I have made a resolve to be of great impact. Impact, impact. Uh, Guys, my hands are not placed well because I'm trying to type. So I'm making several mistakes. To be of great impact to my community through my NGO outreaches. I am applying for these grants to enable me make life better for children in the slum. Close your quotes, send your message. Let's see what it's going to do for us with this kind of story. Remember, we asked it to write a background story, so let's see what's going to do. I already like the beginning, even before reading the end of what is writing. I already like the beginning. Can you see what is writing? Hey, this tool is very powerful. Guys, can you see what this tool is giving? You know, when you're actually applying for a grant, yeah, I think you have to talk about yourself in the, is it third person pronoun? You know, there's something they call it, but you actually it's as if you're actually telling a story about yourself. You don't use I, my here from my experience. So that's why it's actually writing like this. Third person, is it third person pronoun? I'm not sure, but I think this is the way to actually write it. Like, can you see? We did not even give an idea of what the NGO is about. The tool is already writing about the NGO. This is how powerful this tool is. And I tell you, this is not half of what this tool is capable of doing. You know, my channel is also a tech channel. So maybe with time, I'll start sharing on how to use basic tools like this to make your tech experience better. Not just this tool, but several tools online that you can actually use to make your work easy and better. Yeah, I like introducing tech to people. Ah, you know what? I think this tool is going to write so much. So I don't know if I should just stop generating so we can go through what it has written so far. Let me see what it's going to write. This story is still going on. When is it going to end? You can actually stop it at any time. I Okay, let's not take much time. So, okay, let's see. I think this is concluding already. It's already done generating. So this is the short information we gave. Hmm? So to write a background story for this. Mind you, it is here I actually formed this background story. It is here I actually formed this. Look at what this tool have done, written a whole story. And after asking this tool to rephrase your statements, you can actually edit it, correct it. Yeah. So, see the story you wrote. Once upon a time, the beginning in the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, there lived a young man named John West. Like with this introduction, I want to read this story because I want to know who this John West is. Because the way it started, once upon a time, he was born and raised in the harsh conditions of the slums. Remember, when we asked it, we did not tell it what the slums is all about, but he knows what slums is all about, where poverty and hardship were everyday companions. Growing up amidst the struggle for survival, John's experiences shaped his outlook on life and instilled within him an unwavering determination to make a meaningful impact on his community. The two wrote so much about just that information we gave. Whatever you have, just come in here, type your message, and tell you what you want it to do. Like, don't just type and then what do you want it to do? Do you want it to write a background for you? Do you want it to rephrase that statement for you? Do you want it to write a statement of purpose? You can try it out. I don't want to do it here, but you can try several things, like give several instructions to this tool and see what it can do, because it's going to be of advantage to you beyond statement of purpose writing. Yes, even your CV, different things. I hope you actually learned something new and you're going to explore about it too beyond writing your statement of purpose. If you have any questions about writing statement of purpose, about the tool, do let me know in the comment section. You can actually let me know the kind of information you want me to share on my channel. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll be sharing soon on how to create an application on the IRCC portal, how to use the tool I mentioned in one of my videos, the I love PDF tool that you can use to merge documents, to compress documents, to split documents. So I'm going to be sharing on that soon. I'm also going to be sharing on how you can fill the forms for your application. So if you have any question, again, don't forget to ask them in my comment section. Please do like my videos and share my videos, and also put on your notifications for my channel too. Thank you for watching today's video. See you in my next video. Bye.